Often companies don't think about the mechanism by which they're doing their thinking, how they're getting groups involved, how they come to decisions. A decision is about getting something achieved, but how you do that, the process used to come to that decision is facilitation. So you get a number of people in a room and you can just tell them the decision, or you can actually say, we'll engage in a process to find the decision. And so facilitation is that missing link. It's almost the glue behind everything. It's a sort of layer on top or a layer behind. It may not be seen so easily, but it's what helps things get done. And the qualification that we've developed is in 3 levels. The foundation level is going to be a 3-day practice, and in there's going to be at least a 3-hour exercise where people actually practice the skills. So although they won't be assessed on it, they will have a feel for what facilitation is, and because they review that the next day, they learn a lot about facilitation. Then they, a bit like an apprentice carpenter or an apprentice IT person, they learn lots and lots of different tools and how each one works. And more importantly, they learn why they would use one tool and not another. Because if you use the wrong tool at the wrong time, you can disrupt a group. So that's all about stage 1, and then there's an exam which tests you whether you understand the theory and the application of the tools. Level 2, the practitioner level, is where we will ask them for 2 case studies probably, asking for their applied learning of this in a real situation. So they will tell us what they thought they were going to do and what they actually did. And there's no shame in changing it, because actually if you changed it and you did it for the right reasons, then it's brilliant. And so we'll ask them to do that and show that they just didn't do it one-dimensionally. You know, I'm a Boy Scout, I cooked an egg. No, it's did you cook a whole meal for 10 people in the open air? So the complexity of that situation is quite important, because anybody can run a one-dimensional meeting. But it's about being able to prove that you could use a range of techniques and formats, put them all together and get an outcome. And so those case studies are very important. Then a 2-day course to give them some more advanced tools, and then another more sophisticated exam. So perhaps in 2 or 3 years' time, I don't know the timescale yet, we will go to the professional level. And that will be some self-reflection on their style as facilitators, because there'll be some experience now, learning about when they're best at facilitating, when they're not, and although we haven't designed it, probably putting them in some pretty heftily difficult situations and say, facilitate this. So they actually show us that they can do it. Not just a case study, but there and then they're doing it. And it's this point that Richard made this morning, is there's not just theory about this, they've done it. Well, they proved it in case studies, now they're going to prove it to us in an assessment centre. And I think that stands up robustly in a world where people want qualifications, but they also want people to demonstrate they can do it. It's quite a nice package.